Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, then welcome. My name is Millie. I make videos all about makeup and beauty products, testing new products, creating different looks with products that I already have, doing wear tests, all of that fun stuff. So if that's the sort of content that you are into, I would love it if you would subscribe down below. But today's video is all about this palette here. This is the E.L.F. Good Vibes Only Hey Sunshine palette, and I have done a full review of the Psychedelic Dreams palette. I will link that up here for you, but today we're going yellow. Today we are doing something fun with these colours. I'm going to be using a variety of different products, a variety of different brands today, a few things that are still fairly new to me and I'm still trying to work out how to use, and a few things that are firm favourites. So let's just dive straight on in. I'm going in with the Revolution CC Swirl Primer. This is the colour correcting primer from Revolution, the new one. So I'm going to put one pump of this all over like the centre of my face, mainly where I have most redness and like discoloration. My skin is very dry and very sensitive, but this primer just seems to work really well with it. It really hydrates the skin, and it also leaves it a little bit tacky so that the other products can go over the top really nicely. I don't find that it does a ton for the colour correcting, but I do like how it looks and like how it feels. Like it has that skincare benefit in it as well. And then following on from the skincare train, this is the Wet n Wild Bare Focus Tinted Hydrator. When I very first tried this, I had very red sensitive cheeks. I think I must have used a lot of like acids the night before in my nighttime skincare routine, so there was a lot of redness across my cheeks and I didn't love this. However, I think today my skin is a little bit calmer and I think that this will work just fine for what I need today, basically. So I'm just going to dot this all over and then I will use a brush to blend it out. Again, I did recently do a full face of Wet n Wild makeup, so if you want to see this in action and like my first impression of a load of Wet n Wild makeup, I will leave that one linked above as well. Okay, so I much prefer this foundation today than I did the other day. I just think my skin is better under it. So yeah, I like that. For concealer, I'm going in with an old classic, the Lasting Perfection Concealer from Collection. I am putting this on in the shade Extra Fair 4, and I'm just going to keep it around the eyes. I'm also going to take it across the eyelids because I'm doing a lot of pink looks recently, and it has dyed my eyelids pink, which isn't ideal, but of course can be covered with a good concealer. So I'm just going to blend this in with a brush again, and then I'm just taking that brush, I'm not adding any extra product, but just taking that same concealer brush and just sort of patting it over like the centre of the cheeks here, again just to cover over any remaining redness that I may have, and I am happy with that. So quickly just going to go and do my brows. I'm using the XX Revolution Faux Brow in the shade Medium Brown, and then I dug this out because I can't really remember what I think of it. This is the Essence Make Me Brow Eyebrow Gel Mascara, and this is in the shade Chocolatey Brows. So I will go and fill in the brows. I'll be right back. So I'm just going to dust a little bit of the E.L.F. Camo Powder Foundation. I'm just going to put a little bit of this down the centre here to set in that tinted hydrator, and also just add a tiny little bit more coverage. This is a fantastic powder for over the top of other foundations if you find yourself just needing a tiny little bit more coverage, like how I'm using it now, just a tiny little bit more down the centre, but you don't want to add more product and have it feeling heavier. This is really beautiful. I've been using this a ton. So now that that is all nicely set, we can go in and try and add some colour back into the skin. I'm using the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Contouring palette, and I'm just going in with the contoury shade with a Real Techniques blush brush. I'm just going to use a really small amount of this just to find these cheekbones again. I know this says that it's a contour palette and it says that it's a contour colour, however I think it's quite warm looking on my skin tone anyway. Maybe on different skin tones it would look different. This is of course the lightest shade, but I feel like it adds a nice bit of warm summery glow to the skin. So that is all of that bronzer, contour bronzer, blended out, and I absolutely love that shade, but it is not a contour. Even on me, Casper the Ghost, it is not a contour. Anyway, I'm going in with the E.L.F powder blush palette, and I'm going to dip into this shade, this like warm pink, and this has a light little bit of goldy shimmer in it, and I think that this will just add a really nice flush to the cheeks. I'm hoping so anyway. I've not used this shade before. So I've just tapped a little bit of this hot pink shade, that lighter, brighter shade, just tapped that a little bit further forwards than where I normally go, but I feel like with it having that little bit of glow in it as well, I feel like that looks really nice, like really fresh. Also want some across the nose because I always do. I feel like that just finishes off the colour nicely. So onto the eyes. I'm using, of course, the E.L.F Good Vibes Only Hey Sunshine palette, and this has browns and yellows in it. So pretty, such beautiful colours. And I did swatch this palette when I very first got it, when I did the other palette from this collection. So this first shimmer is more like a topper, it's quite sheer. Then this next colour over it just looks like a matte, but it does have almost like a satiny finish to it. It's so pretty and also incredibly pigmented, and then the two browns at the end are both matte. So I think what I'm going to do is just grab a fluffy brush and go into the lightest of the brown shades, and I'm just going to warm up the crease. These are also incredibly pigmented, as you can tell. So then I'm going to go into that second shade that I said had that slightest bit of shimmer in it, and I'm going to just pick that up on my finger. I mean, look how incredible that shade is. It's so like bright, and I'm going to tap that across like the lid, and then I will go out and blend it with a brush, but I'm just going to really lay down a lot of colour with my finger. So I've just blended out that top edge of that like mustardy colour with a brush, but it's still really intense across the lid, and I absolutely love that colour. I feel like that's a really unique like shade of yellow. Like obviously it's yellow, but it almost has like a goldy mustardy undertone to it, and I feel like it's really wearable. Like it's a really wearable way to incorporate a little bit of colour if you just want to dip your toe into a little bit of colour. So I'm going to go into the brighter of the yellow shades, and this one is that shimmer, and I'm going to again just take that on my finger and pat it across the lid and not take it up too high. I just want to really brighten and add that glittery shimmer across the lid, and then blend out with the brush again. No more product, but just make sure there aren't any lines. And then lastly I'm going in with a teeny tiny little like pencil brush, and I'm going to dip into that brown shade, the darker brown shade, just right on the tip of that pencil brush, and I'm going to create some sort of a smoky wing type of a thing. Better than that obviously, but something like this. So that is the sort of messy smoky wing that I was going for. I'm just going to intensify it a little bit with a pencil, brown pencil. So this is the collection I Define a Lasting Colour pencil in the shade brown. So I'm just going to squiggle along and then basically do the same thing, just smudge it out a little bit with a brush just to intensify the lash line a tiny little bit more. So I just went ahead and put a little bit of that yellow shimmer directly on the inner corner and blended it out a tiny little bit more. So I'm going to go in with mascara. This is the E.L.F. Lash and Roll Mascara. I have a full wear test review video of this as well. So I'm just going to apply a healthy few layers of this mascara, and that is the eyes done. I absolutely adore these colours, but let me know what you think. I will zoom you out and we can finish off the rest of the face. So for the lips, I'm going to go in with the Revolution Satin Kiss lip liner in Heart Race and just line the lips very lightly. And then in the middle, I'm going to go in with the Relove Baby Gloss in the shade Sugar, and I'm just going to tap a little bit of this over the middle. A little something like that. So I'm just going to go in with a little bit of highlight. I feel like now that everything's done, I just want a little bit of glow on the top of my cheeks. Where's my brush? This one. So this is the E.L.F. Baked Highlighter in the shade Moonlight Pearls. And I'm just going to tap a little bit of this over the top of the cheeks, just to add a little bit more glow to what we've already got going on. And then, do I want some of this on the inner corner as well? Probably. So I'm just tapping a tiny little bit of that highlighter onto the inner corner. Yes, I feel like that's just finished that off nicely. As much as I love that yellow on the inner corner, you know, I like to add the highlight that I wear on the face. I like to add it to the inner corner as well. I feel like it just makes everything look cohesive and finished. So that is me done. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have picked up these little palettes from E.L.F. The other one that I tried, I also thought was fantastic, and this one is no different. That yellow, like second shade in, that one is absolutely beautiful. I don't feel like I have that colour in any palette that I have, and I have a hearty amount of palettes, but I feel like that's a really unique shade. I absolutely love it. So let me know what you think. Let me know if there's any other new releases that you want to see tested out. If you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you are new, I would love it if you would subscribe down below. But until next time, thank you so much for watching. Bye.